said I don't believe it. But I definitely said that shit. I was like, yo, this is definitely like a. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Hi, hey. So yes, what is your disagreement today?
Hi. Well, first off, hi. My name is Jamie Wynn, and so nice to finally be able to join. But just wanted to say I really do appreciate y'all's content, and I guess Sarah, not necessarily that there is a disagreement, and I know that you guys hate it when people do this, but I guess it's more, I guess sometimes like I think that there's additional struggles, to dating for females, that sometimes maybe we don't always shine a light on or have conversations about, especially like nowadays, that there's a lot of conversation around high value men, high value women, like that kind of thing. It's just, it always seems like the options kind of lie with the man. And I know it does, but
So
uh,
what are some of these dating struggles? What are some of these issues that people don't know about?
for struggle, like for myself anyways, like I can't speak for the most, and I think like that's the other thing too, is like sometimes like the conversations that we're having, it's a lot of people that are joining the conversation that might not necessarily be a part of the demographic that the conversation is about. Like the lady that just called in earlier, yes, there are going to be average women that are very okay and accepting of average men, you know um a lot of times I feel like average women is based on their looks, because that's going to be your sexual marketplace value or whatever, right? Whereas like a man's value, that is something that is, I feel like, can be increased. And for the
Sure,
most
yeah,
part,
yeah. It can be modified, it can be improved, but yeah, I want to know like what did you disagree with from your personal perspective, or like what are some struggles? You said there's some struggles that we're unaware of that ladies might go through, and then you want to speak to your personal struggles. So what's your
yeah,
what's the
struggle I have. I know like beauty is subjective, but I do think that generally speaking that I would be
hold on. What does that mean when you say beauty is subjective?
okay. Like I feel like subjective as far as like, maybe you think I'm a 6, maybe someone else might think I'm an 8, but collectively we can agree that I would be on the more attractive, like when we were talking about like attractive or not attractive, you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like
okay.
Beyonce, we all can say is attractive. Kevin
It's
Samuels,
not so it's not entirely subjective. It's like some
yeah, there
aspects
is,
of it are partially, but there are okay, cool. We agree.
yeah,
So carry on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it is going to be like on a spectrum, right? So, but I like to think of it like, a little bit more like not necessarily binary, but it's like because they are going to be just average. But for most part, like we know there are going to be unattractive people. Like
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
whole, you take them around the world, and we know
Okay.
they're not
So
attractive.
we agree on that point. So
Yeah.
so how does that relate to your struggle?
So I guess like the struggle that I would say that I kind of have is that I don't want to say like, oh, I'm a female that has taken like the red pill or anything like that, but I do think that like for the most part, I've always enjoyed and have been able to relate and understand more conversations that are relevant, like right now in the manosphere. You know what I mean? It's like I've tried to have conversations with other women because, to be honest, I don't think I struggle necessarily in the dating like aspect. The struggle I have is like kind of narrowing down the options, and
Okay. Okay.
just like
You
I'm
suffer
a
from abundance.
kind of sort of. It's like how like um actually I saw a meme and I kind of thought I felt attacked, but it's like, girls always say, oh, I attract fuck boys or I attract like shitty guys. No, if you're a pretty girl, you attract a lot of people. Who you choose from and who you decide from based on your experiences or knowledge or lack of, that's going to be your struggle.
Right.
You know what I
Right. Right.
mean?
Right. So
So
your
I,
struggle. So you. So
I
okay. So your struggle is like narrowing it down to pick the right person.
yeah, because I fumble
Yeah.
the bag
Okay.
a lot. It's like,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
And
You feel like we don't acknowledge that ladies make the wrong choices?
no, I don't know. You guys acknowledge that all the time, but I feel like sometimes it's just like whenever, especially when women are calling in, to Kevin Samuels or whatever, like I can acknowledge the fact, like, yeah, I fucked up. You know what I mean? Like I have fucked up. I do have options and I do have potential. I'm early enough.
Okay.
Danger zone.
I got to slow you down. Okay, so I just want to make it clear because I'm trying to follow. Initially,
Okay.
you came on and you felt like where you disagree with us is that sometimes we don't acknowledge some struggles that women go through. And then I said, great, okay, cool. And I
Yeah.
asked you what was a struggle that you feel like we don't acknowledge, and then you said, well, my struggle, me personally, is I feel like I make the wrong choices from the choices that I
Well,
have. So I mean, I would argue that
to a
we
certain extent, like,
100% talk about that all the time.
no. It's like, but like, it's like, yes, you guys do talk about it, but it's like sometimes it's like the I guess like for a guy, it's like very easy to assess a risk. Like, you know, you guys do risk assessments. Like whenever you guys are going to talk to a girl, like, hey, do I want to sign up for this? Or is this going to be like a fling or a hookup or whatever, right? It's like sometimes I feel like as a like a girl, like guys aren't going to be as transparent, or sometimes they might be, you know, but it's like the struggle is like, yeah, it's like I know that you, like wealth, not wealthy, I shouldn't say wealthy, but like as far as like high value men, like you don't have to wait, you know, for me to put
Sorry,
out.
sorry, sorry. I might be confused. What's the issue? What's the issue? You feel like men do risk assessment? I don't understand. I don't understand what's the issue.
Sorry, now I feel like I'm turning into the females that call in that are like all over the place, and I
No,
hate.
no, you fine, you fine. I just don't understand. So go ahead, try to explain.
Okay, so for example, right, like I feel like sometimes, right, like as a guy, like as a high value man, like it is very acceptable, or it should be accepted, that men have options and men are going to explore these options, right? That's the whole idea of like being a part of a roster. But the thing is, a lot of times I feel like I do appreciate being a part of the conversation or even being invited to the table. Like, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's like, this is not the only table that I'm sitting at, you know? And I also understand the discipline and constraint that I have to, you know, have.
Okay, okay. So he's got options and you got options.
Yeah, and I feel like
Okay.
sometimes, I mean, it does make sense that a guy's option, not like the guy's option, but like depending, you know, like on the situation. Like maybe if I was 32 and like my options are starting to dwindle, like you know, I was actually just joking with my friends a little bit earlier.
Well, hold on, hold
Like
on.
I don't.
We got to bring it together because we're going all over the place. I'm gonna check. So your issue is like we always talk about how men got options, but then you're like, yo, I also got options. Is that correct? I feel like that's what you kind of just said.
Yes, but sometimes it's like, yeah, it's sometimes it's just like it's not even acknowledged, you know. It's like, because I
No,
will be
no.
in
I
situations.
think people acknowledge that women got options all the time. I think most
No,
people are well aware that you guys got a lot of options.
but
But the
understand.
problem is, you know, as the issue is, while you may have a lot of options in regards to casually dating,
Mhm.
that's not what you want.
Correct. So that, and that's what I'm
So
trying to.
so you can say you have a lot of options, but you don't have options you like.
No, no, I do, and I honestly, I have options.
You have options you like.
Yes, I have
Okay, so then why is it not working with the options you like?
because it's like I'm trying to honestly be like I'm trying to pace out the relationships, like the friendships, the guys I'm getting to know, because I understand that, hey, like once I start putting out or start, you know, like getting on a more intimate level with an individual, like as a female, like I'm not able to have sex with 2 or 3 guys. But I also understand that a high value man is not going to wait around for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months for me, you know, to have sex with. So it's like
Okay.
I do have options that I like. And it's like for a guy to casually date and casually have sex with women, you know, like that's okay. Like you guys can have 2 or 3 women that you guys are all getting to know. You guys are all getting to know and hooking up. I can get to know a guy, but once I start passing or like crossing certain boundaries, the other options that I am considering that are also considering me are going to cut me out. You know what I mean? Like, and I understand it's like the dilemma. It's like when you are in a position where, hey, like, you know, you're able to make relationships and actually understand and connect, and like where people are like I'm self-admittingly like I'm on a roster. Like I am not anyone's girlfriend, but I do think
Okay.
people willing to, you know, grow the relationship with me. But it's like it's sometimes
So,
challenging.
but here's the thing. Okay, you said all this, but at the end of the day, the people that you want, the so-called high-value men, I
Yeah,
suppose, who are not going to wait, right?
yeah.
You-
So if
They're
you're
not
not,
options for you.
huh?
They're not
That's
options for you.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like currently, like presently, like I do have options, but like these options may dwindle in 6 months or 3 months, like depending on
Right,
how long you're going to wait, or depending on if I'm willing to proceed. So I
right,
think
right. So he's going to
that's
pick somebody else.
hmm?
So he's going to pick somebody else. I guess that's what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, you know, like sometimes it's a challenge, like when you're actually in that 3 month window, you know, having the
Yeah.
conversation, because guys are not
Right,
going to
right, right,
present
right,
themselves.
right, 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 right. So what are you asking me, or like what are you trying to relate to me right now?
I guess like not necessarily asking, but it was like, you know, a lot of times like when women come and understanding the situation, but just wanting to understand, like, well, then what should we do in this, you know, like as like I don't want, you know, to start to lose my value. Like I understand that like maybe this.
Yeah, all right then. So then you got to go for it. You got to pick somebody and be like, all right, let's do
Like,
this.
how do you go for it when guys aren't always presenting? It's like, do you just
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, if the dudes that you're going after are not reciprocating, then you know either you lower them standards or you keep holding out and you hope. And then you know, there's no way I can tell you that 100%. If you keep going for what you've been going for this whole time, and you're not getting it, that things are going to end up well for you because it might not. Maybe you're never going to find it, and then you know you pass whatever age and you realize it's completely out of your reach. Or you know, or maybe you know it does work out. I can't tell you how it's going to turn out, but I think at some point, if you keep not having what it is that you want in regards to that, and you're worried that you're gonna fall out of their good graces, maybe it's time to lower them standards.
Well, no, not okay. So my thing is, I guess, like we all know that post ejaculation or post cum, like you know, like you guys wake up and it's like, actually, I don't want a relationship. Before I was able to get it, you know, like yeah, I'm willing to go on dates, explore, whatever.
You don't want a relationship?
No, I do. I'm saying it's like I'm talking for a guy's standpoint. A lot of times, like post ejaculation, like enlightenment, right? Like
okay, hold on. We're going all over the place here. We're going all over the place because I feel like if we gotta stick to one thing, okay?
Yeah.
All right, because now we're talking about like post cum syndrome, like
no, I'm just like because like put out and hope, you know, like put out and like hopes that like maybe
if a dude sleeps with you, it's not gonna make him turn. He's not gonna get turned off from you because you slept with him or whatever. If the dude doesn't want to be with you, it's not because you put out too fast. If the dude doesn't want to be with you, it's because he's just not that interested. At the end of the day, it's like if we meet a really dope woman who we really like and we sleep with her on the first or second date, we're not like, oh, this bitch is. We're gonna keep seeing her. That's it. We're gonna keep seeing her. It has nothing to do with how fast y'all put out. Okay? Unless you message me on the first message before we've ever talked, you're like, you want some pussy? Then I'll be like, that's weird. Okay? But if we have a fine date and it goes very naturally and seamlessly and I really like you, I'm gonna keep seeing you after we sleep together. I don't know who's been telling people this. I don't know who's been telling this lie that if you put on the first date, like this I think is like a magazine for ladies. It must be. Ask any guy in this chat right now who's here. They'll tell you, yeah, if a girl puts on the first date, it's not that deep to me. It's like, as long as it's like naturally happening and progressing, we don't care. So I wouldn't stress it too much. I don't think the high value men are going to look at you. Well, you had sex with me, get out of here. If your character and your personality is to their liking, it's going to be fine. So that's what I'm going to say.
I'm not saying that like a guy is going to like your value automatically diminishes after having sex. What I'm saying is like as you are in the vetting process and trying to actually be intentional with dating and not just casually dating and hooking up based on the chemistry and vibes that are there that night. Like I am not a virgin, obviously, and I'm not going to sit here and like chastise someone just because like they had sex the first night. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I also understand that, hey, I can't just move around like that. Like I'm not that age where I can just go and have sex with like 5 or 6 guys because we're all vibing and like think that I'm going to still be able to go up to a high value person that I'm talking to and say, hey, I deserve this, this, and this. It's like men have acknowledged like, I guess like post ejaculation clarity, you know, like maybe before that you're like, hey, I can see something with shorty. I can see us like having a relationship, getting to know each other, whatever. After having sex, it's like, yeah, you know what? I just haven't had sex for the last 6 months. I was trying to be intentional as a man because also as a man, if you're out there spreading your seed too much, you can also slowly to, you know, lose value. Because I've had plenty of guys, honestly, like tell me like, hey, I want to pace out our relationship. I think you're a really cool girl. I'm at the age also where I'm actually taking a look at women more seriously, you know, like they're older, you know, and so it's like, okay, awesome. Go on a couple dates, this kind of this, that, and the other. And it's like, I'm just saying it's like as I'm pacing out several relationships, you know, because that's what they also want to do. I know it's going to come to a point where you have to.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, this is the main thing I'll tell you. I get it. You know, dudes are maybe dating multiple ladies. You want to do that and just keep your options open to give yourself the best options. Hey, listen. If you think it's working fine, keep going with it. And if it's not, then maybe change the strategy. That's probably what I would leave it at. But listen, we've been on this call for a hot minute, so I got to let it go to the next person. But listen, I appreciate you coming on, okay?
Yeah.
All right, cheers.
Thanks.